Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bobcat Corner Live, the live stream event that I host after the Ohio Bobcats play games in the regular season. This is the first time in the 2025 regular season that I'm doing this. And don't adjust your screens. I am actually trying to do this on StreamYard. My first attempt doing this. Hopefully, you guys can hear me just fine in this live stream. I tested out the audio beforehand. But anyway, what a gauntlet, huh? Just months going into this season, we were talking about all this, talking about how daunting it looked like going in. But as a result, we ended up going 1-2 in the gauntlet, and it was just about what I was hoping for. Uh, I said it for a long time now going in. It's like if we can get just one win out of these 3 games, it will be mission accomplished, technically speaking. And that's what we did. We got one win. Obviously, how the gauntlet ended last night, there are some things that you can look back on and say, yeah, there are some things definitely we got to work on. But overall, I'm just going to revert back basically to how I felt after the Rutgers game, the first game. Is like overall, I feel reassured. If you're an Ohio Bobcats fan, you have to feel reassured overall about where this team is headed, especially when it comes to mental toughness, when it comes to how they are in their mental state. It's good. Yeah, I see positive signs here overall, and just the just the fact that they're being able to fight through, all this adversity, all this like challenge, the challenges that they go through. This was not an easy stretch of the first 3 games to play because you're a group of 6 school and not a lot is expected out of you compared to the opponents you're facing. So for the Bobcats to show up the way that they did and get one win out of these 3 games, it is something noteworthy in my opinion. But anyway, uh, if you guys are watching this, I hope you guys are. This is Bobcat Corner Live. We're just going to get right to it. We're going to dive into the stats here, specifically the stats, trying to analyze game by game what happened in each game here. On previous Bobcat Corners, original Bobcat Corners, I did like initial thoughts on what happened to the game against Rutgers and to the game against West Virginia. But now it's going to be more in-depth analysis here, looking at the stats, looking at everything. So let's just get right to it. We're going to start with this. First game up, August 28th, Thursday. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights pulled away with a 34-31 victory over the Ohio Bobcats. And it's nothing different than what I said following this game. That, yes, there were some things that the Bobcats had to fix here, but I love the fact that the Bobcats fought through this, that they fought through all the adversity in this game against Rutgers. At one point, they were down 31-14 in the second quarter, and then the Bobcats pulled off a good drive, significant drive to get a field goal to make it 31-17. And then the third quarter, they scored two touchdowns to tie it up at 31 each. And then early on, fourth quarter, Rutgers kicks a field goal, 34-31. That's your final score. But I really love the display of mental toughness here by the Ohio Bobcats in this game. This was a very noteworthy thing to discuss because I've seen in times past when the Ohio Bobcats faced power conference schools that it was like easily a fold up the tent, so to speak, kind of thing, but not here. And that's what I really liked here. So anyway, going to the stats, and hopefully you guys are going to see this. Share the screen. Let's see. Testing out something here. All right. You can tell I'm still kind of new to this, but let's just go through the stats. I will provide links to these games in the description box below, by the way, guys. So 34-31 Rutgers. Checking out the stats for the Bobcats. Parker Navarro, He was one of the main reasons why the Bobcats even stayed in this game. He was 21 of 31 for 239 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. I mean, he was amazing in this game against Rutgers. Nothing but good things to say here about Parker here. Rushing, he did great too. 9 rushes for 93 yards, broke out a 28-yard run at some point. C.A. Bangura, running back, 16 rushes for 86 yards. Chase Hendricks, 9 receptions for 115 yards. Yeah, a lot of positive things to take from this. But yeah, there's some things that were kind of off, such as the special teams, which I said, that was not so good at all. Block punt for a touchdown. That's what really made the difference here in this game, which separated Rutgers from us. But I could sense in this game that once we got like momentum going, we were still in this. So yeah, first quarter, let's just go through it. First quarter, Rutgers, Antoine Raymond rushed for a 14-yard touchdown, 7-0 Rutgers. Then the Bobcats responded. Parker Navarro passed to Mason Williams, tight end, for a 4-yard touchdown, tied it at 7. Then Rutgers put on some points here in the second quarter. Jay Patel kicked a 23-yard field goal, 10-7. Then Ethan Kaliakmanis, Rutgers quarterback, he passed to DT Sheffield for a 54-yard touchdown, 17-7 Rutgers at that point. Bobcats responded with a pass from Parker Navarro to Jake Bruno, another tight end, for a 14-yard touchdown. That made it 17-14. Then, as I said, Rutgers started to pull away with Kaliakmanis passing to KJ Duff for a 6-yard touchdown. That made it 24-14. Then, of course, the block punt, which returned for a Rutgers touchdown. That was 31-14 Rutgers. So at that point, we could have packed it in. And just called it a day, but we didn't. Came back, like I said, late in the second quarter before halftime, field goal, 31-17. 31-24, Parker Navarro rushed for a 17-yard touchdown in the third quarter, made it 31-24. And then we tied it up with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter with Navarro passing to Jake Bruno again for a 13-yard touchdown. And then, of course, Jay Patel for Rutgers kicked a 26-yard field goal. That made the difference. So overall, as I've already described at Bobcat Corner Original, that it stunk that we lost, but I like the toughness that we showed here. I like the effort that we showed. Just a lot of positives to take from this game, even though it was a loss. It showed me that mentally speaking, we were with it. And that's very reassuring when you see a team respond like that. When you're down by a score like 31-14 and you go all the way back and you tie it up, that's a good sign. So, yeah, it just certain things, like I said, special teams had to get fixed, which the next 2 games, I'm going to say, they did fix some things on special teams. But here in this game, it was really sloppy on special teams. Defense, it was very slow. Run defense, pass defense. Early on in the first half against Rutgers, it was not so good. But second half, they found their footing and responded. Started getting stops against Rutgers. So as the game went along here against Rutgers, Ohio found their footing and made a game of it. What more can you say? So, like I said, I'll provide links to these box scores in the description below after I'm done here, so you guys can follow along. And before we go on to the next game here against West Virginia, I just want to say thank you guys for giving me the chance to cover college football, for you guys, and to talk college football, talk about the Ohio Bobcats and other college football topics in general. If you like what you see here, please give this stream a like, by the way, but also share this content with other college football fans. Just let them know about me. Let them know about my channel, SCB Castle, because this is what it's going to be about, mainly. Bobcat Corner, And I do have something in the works very soon here concerning Steven Interviews You. It's going to be a special guest, and I mean special guest, probably a name that you guys are not thinking of. So be on the lookout for that. And as far as the original Bobcat Corner goes, the next episode for that, um, probably by the end of this week, there'll be like episode 64 of Bobcat Corner, the original version of Bobcat Corner. Thursday, Friday-ish, maybe, I'm thinking, but we'll see. Just certain updates to make there on Bobcat Corner, so be on the lookout for that as well. And so, yeah, hopefully I'm going to be doing a good job here with live streams like this. And obviously, as you guys can tell, I'm getting used to StreamYard. So just give me suggestions on what I could do in the comment section below. Feel free to comment underneath here when you're done watching this. Just give me some pointers, tips on what I could be doing. So anyway, let's resume here. Second part of the gauntlet was like, okay, we just lost to Rutgers by 3. Kind of, you know, pretty sad and kind of painful to have that 3-point loss to Rutgers, own 1, but I felt reassured. So what happened here, the home opener on Frank Sloach Field in Athens, Ohio against West Virginia, is that we pulled off our upset victory. 17-10, the Ohio Bobcats defeated the West Virginia Mountaineers, and boy, was it a big win. Considering everything that just happened here with this entire 3-game gauntlet, yeah, we needed to get this game. So many people, college football fans and talking heads on mainstream media were just, deciding it was like, okay, Bobcats are just going to go 0-3. It's too tough of a gauntlet, blah, blah, blah. But here we showed as a team, we showed that on any given college football day, we can do something like this. And again, we needed this victory really bad. We got it, 1-2. So yeah, let's get into this one. Ohio, West Virginia. This was a game that put a smile on my face because leading up to this, and by the way, before I continue on, shout out to everybody who has been helping me with these preview shows leading up to these games. Larry Crane for Rutgers Night Watch. Shout out to you, Larry. Coos' Corner, Justin Walker for the West Virginia game. Shout out to you, Justin Coos. And lastly, Eric Boggs, who invited me back in July to join the College Huddle. Eric Boggs, Ohio State fan, the Ohio podcast. We did a preview for the Ohio State game. Shout out to you, Eric. All of you guys, thank you all for allowing me to be a guest on your shows. And I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you guys. Anyway, yeah, but this West Virginia game, it made me smile because leading up to this and following what Kuz and I did for our preview for this game, I read the comment section below, and a lot of West Virginia fans were just being a little blunt here. They were giving me quite a bit of crap about, oh, who does this guy think he is? Oh, he's arrogant, blah, blah, blah. No, I was not trying to be arrogant, for the record. I was just speaking my mind. I was trying to be honest about how I felt about this game. So I always felt like the Ohio Bobcats had a chance in this game. I wasn't guaranteeing anything. I was just saying, well, we have a chance. That's it. So to see the game play out that it did here, it made me smile. Can't help but say that. So let's just get through this. Let's get through the stats here for the Ohio Bobcats in this game. September 6th, home opener in Athens, Ohio. Parker Navarro, overall, he did enough. He did enough. He did what he had to do to get the Bobcats into a winning position here. 22 of 31, completed 22 of 31 passes, 71% for 247 yards, 1 touchdown pass, 3 interceptions. Yeah, 3 picks, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks. You don't like to see that, but like I said, Parker did just enough to get the Bobcats into the winning position here. Rushing, Parker Navarro had 18 rushes for 87 yards. C.A. Banguro, 20 rushes for 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Even Duncan Bruin, I know it's not saying a lot when it comes to stats. Duncan Bruin here, 9 rushes for 29 yards, but those are hard fought yards. When you come to short yardage situations, when you have someone like Duncan Bruin trying to find his footing as a running back, it's very much reassuring. I could tell in this game that Duncan Bruin was trying hard. So when you got to have someone behind C.A. Bangura to do some heavy lifting there in the running game. And so, yeah, receiving Chase Hendricks, he was great again. 8 receptions for 121 yards, 1 touchdown. And Max Rodarte, 3 receptions for 46 yards. And we had a new kicker to kick field goals for us in this game, Brack Peacock. Missed one, made another. So going through the stats here, score by score. It started with West Virginia in the first quarter, 3 minutes to go in the first. Jaheim White rushed for a 32-yard touchdown, made it 7-0 Mountaineers at that point. And by the way, I wish Jaheim White a speedy recovery from the injury that he suffered in this game. It's just really, it's just you you just can't, you know, describe what happened there. But the siren going past me. Anyway, yeah, Jaheim White. I wish you a speedy recovery. By the way, Jaheim White. Hope you get better. Um, but yeah, 32-yard touchdown run by him, 7-0 Mountaineers. As I said, 1 minute to go in the first quarter, Brack Peacock kicked a 37-yard field goal, made it 7-3 West Virginia. Now we go to the second quarter. C.A. Bangura, short yardage situation, punch it in, 1-yard touchdown run. That has shifted momentum for the Ohio Bobcats in their favor, 10-7 Ohio. And then Parker Navarro passed to Chase Hendricks for that 31-yard touchdown, made it 17-7, and that was all the points that Ohio needed at the end of the day. And so, yeah, that was just a thing of beauty, that connection between Parker Navarro to Chase Hendricks, that 31-yard touchdown pass. That was the thing of beauty. When I saw that, it was like cutting through the middle of the field. Brilliant. So the only other score here was third quarter, West Virginia. Their kicker, Cade Hensley, kicked a 38-yard field goal. But really, there was a lot of things going on here, such as the defense for the Ohio Bobcats, which I'm going to note again, they stepped up when they needed to. Throughout the game, the Ohio Bobcats made key plays on defense when they had to. They contained an offense in West Virginia that was supposed to be explosive, that was supposed to be, up tempo. We just kept hearing about Rich Rodriguez, how he plays, the offense, up tempo, keep it fast, and I did not see much of any of that at all in this game for whatever reason. Part of that is because of Ohio's defense, how well they played throughout the game. So you got to give credit where it's due. As I said before, you got to give credit where it's due. So yeah, again, I felt reassured. I felt reassured yet again that we're on the right track mentally speaking. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, at this point we were 1-1. We got our game, we got our win, got one win out of this gauntlet. Great. So what I need to get to now, because we got to get out of the way, and I'm not going to take too much time talking about this because it is what it is. At the end of the day, guys, it is what it is. So let's just get it out of the way. Yeah. When I saw this game scheduled, when I saw the schedule for the 2025 regular season, that we were going to have to go up to Columbus to face the defending national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, cringed. Can't lie to you guys, I cringed. Because, yeah, we picked this time to do it, to face them. And so I'm not surprised by the end result of this game. I want to make it clear to you guys. I'm not surprised by it. it was one of the things like in the back of my mind I was expecting. I was like, yeah, watch it turn out to be something like this. Oh, hi, Kuz. Thanks for stopping by, Kuz. Really appreciate it. Just saw your comment. Yeah, so yeah, this game against the Ohio State Buckeyes, I was not surprised by it whatsoever. I did not have any expectations going into this game whatsoever. We know what we're getting with the Ohio State Buckeyes. Okay. So 37-9, you see the score there. Going to go through this real fast. Pull it up. Here we go. So looking at the stats now, as I say this, you got to keep in mind that there was a point in the first quarter of this game. At some point, Parker Navarro was trying to make a play. He did a shovel pass to the tight end Mason Williams, I believe, and right then and there, Buckeyes defender just really hit him at a certain spot in his left wrist, non-throwing hand, left wrist that banged him up a little bit, and Bobcats coaching staff took him out as a precautionary measure. Of course, you want to be safe. Better to be safe than sorry. And I think that's really, guys, I think that really affected everything about the Ohio Bobcats, how they were approaching this game after that happened. Uh, Again, talent gap, duh. It's Ohio State. What do you expect? So, as far as momentum goes, if Parker Navarro played the entire game and did not get hit like that, we may be talking about a slightly, and I mean slightly, different score here at the end of the game. Let's just go through the stats. Parker Navarro, 6 of 13, 94 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 sacks. At the very least, he did not throw any interceptions. That was good. But yeah, he saw limited action here in the first half. Came back in the second half, thankfully, to play. Uh, Nick Palos, the backup quarterback, he had to come in the second quarter after that hit. Uh, Nick Palos, he didn't do like bad per se. He did what he could do. Serviceable. He's a backup quarterback. Not much is expected out of Nick Palos. 4 of 8, 19 yards, 2 sacks. Again, Ohio State has so much talent. I have to keep saying that. Uh, so yeah, C.A. Bangura did not get much going, 24 yards. Duncan Brune, 19 yards. Not much to say about the running game for the Ohio Bobcats. Chase Hendricks, though, in the receiving game, 3 receptions for 76 yards, 1 touchdown, which I'll get to in a minute. Jake Bruno, 2 catches for 21 yards. Not a lot going on here. To be expected, of course, when you're facing the national champions. So, again, I did not have any real expectations whatsoever. I was just hoping that, in our case, the Ohio Bobcats, that we would just put up some sort of effort, that we would try to do something to get something meaningful going. And of course, Ohio State would inevitably pull away, which they did. So, yeah, let's just go through the score by score here. Peter's acting up. Hold on a minute, guys. Live stream. Yep. Anyway, score by score here. Now, the funny thing about this, let's be honest here, the funny thing about this was that going into this game, Ohio State fans were all over us saying, oh, we're going to crush you by 50, 60 points, blah, 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 just like we did to Grambling the other week. Well, we're way better than Grambling, just so you guys know. Okay, you faced an FCS team the previous week. You're not going to blow us out 70-0. Okay, show us a little bit more respect than that. Anyway, it seemed like, Ohio State was having its way on offense, moving down the field. You have Jeremiah Smith. He's going to be in the NFL, of course. Carnell Tate, another good wide receiver as well. Solid running game. I was definitely introduced to Bo Jackson. Not that Bo Jackson, but current day Bo Jackson for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yeah, running game, great. I will say this, though, about Julian Sayin, the starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Not trying to harp too much about this, but I'm not really all that impressed by Julian Sayin, if you want me to be honest with you guys. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but I'm just saying I think some parts of Julian saying his game, some parts of it is overrated, if you want me to be honest with you. I do think a big part of it is not him, but the wide receivers around him. I know Ohio State fans might get mad at me when I say that, but that's my honest take on that. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but I'm also not saying that he's excellent either. Julian saying needs to start showing me a little bit more on his own accord without Jeremiah Smith and company. Just saying. Anyway, Jaden Fielding, kicker for Ohio State, kicked a 38-yard field goal. We actually got a stop, held him to 3. And then Fielding came back again the second quarter, kicked another field goal, made it 6-0 Buckeyes. That was with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Then a little bit later on, 2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, Julian Sayin passed to Max Clare, the tight end, for a 16-yard touchdown. That made it 13-0 Buckeyes. And then just before halftime, David Dellenbach, our kicker for the Bobcats, kicked a field goal, 44-yard field goal, made it 13-3 going into halftime. So it's like, okay, we got a little bit of something going on here, but again, no real expectations. I was just pleased that we actually scored at that point because a lot was just not, it was not clicking. It was not jiving. At one point, I was kind of confused as to what we were actually doing, especially following that hit on Parker Navarro, again, the left wrist injury. I was like, what exactly were we planning on doing? I have no idea. Putting aside all the stuff about the talent gap and all that, I was just wondering what exactly we were trying to do with the running game, with the passing game, and the creativity wasn't exactly there. If you want me to be honest with you, the effort, mental toughness, we try to hang in there, but as far as creativity goes, when you're facing a team of the highest order, so to speak, in the Ohio State Buckeyes, you have to at least try to be creative. You have to at least try to give them a different look on offense. And not even that was accomplished in this game. That's just something I'm going to note right there. But anyway, going to the third quarter, scores here. Parker Navarro did come back. He did come back to the game, thankfully. That was reassuring. Even following that left wrist injury, you could see, on Peacock, Parker Navarro, he was on the sidelines throwing. So it did not happen to his throwing hand. It happened to his non-throwing hand. He was on the sidelines throwing footballs, trying to get ready, trying to warm up. So he came back in the third quarter, and 14 minutes, he passed to Chase Hendricks for that 67-yard touchdown. Yet again, another thing of beauty there, just like what happened in that West Virginia game. Nice to see, although Brock Peacock missed the PAT, which I wish did not happen. 13-9. And then, of course, it was all Buckeyes ever since then. Just to skim through this. Jaden Fielding kicked a 22-yard field goal, 16-9. Held them to a field goal after an overturned call. It was originally ruled, a touchdown reception by C.J. Donaldson, but that was overturned after a review. So it was a field goal instead of a touchdown ultimately there, 16-9, but that didn't really matter. And then 6:43, the third quarter, Julian Sayin passed to Jeremiah Smith, 47-yard touchdown, 23-9. Then Sayin passed to Carnell Tate, the other great wide receiver they have, 49-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter, 30-9. And then finally, Jeremiah Smith rushed for a 17-yard touchdown that made it 37-9. There you go. So again, it's not like I was surprised by this final score. I was just wondering how the Ohio Bobcats were going to handle it, how we're going to handle all this hostile environment, which Columbus always is. And I would know because I used to make business trips up to Columbus all the time. I would, travel up to Columbus all the time in my early days. So, yeah, I know what Columbus is about. So I'm not surprised by what happened here. Certain things kind of puzzle me. It's like play calling choices. Kind of puzzled by it because sometimes we like go forward on fourth down and then on another drive we just simply punt. It's kind of like back and forth. I did not like the inconsistency there. But yeah, 37-9, what can you do? There's not much you can do when you're facing the national champions. So not going to dwell too much on that. But anyway, yeah, so coming off this gauntlet, this 3-game gauntlet, a lot of people were really doubting us. And so for me, the hope was if I just get one victory, if we just get one victory out of these 3, and we did, we accomplished that. 1 and 2, we're going to have to regroup, coming back home to Athens to face Gardner Webb. Not going to be doing a live stream following that one, but by all intents and purposes, we should take care of business against Gardner Webb. So bottom line here, I'm going to show the bottom line. This is the bottom line. I suggest that you guys watch how Ohio responds to this. Now, yeah, it's kind of like how should I say it? It's kind of like a mixed bag when you review all 3 of these games. The highlight being, of course, the West Virginia victory. Low light, it is what it is at Ohio State. And then it's like back and forth the first game against Rutgers. So it's like, what can you gather from this? It's like mental toughness. I believe the Ohio Bobcats have it. I believe they're capable of having it. And I do believe they're going to show it throughout the regular season, especially when we get into MAC play, Mid-American Conference play. This is like the toughest stretch. These first 3 games, this was like the toughest stretch of the regular season for us. Okay, so we get Gardner Webb, FCS opponent. We can take him down. We go back up to 2-2. And then from there, if we go on a tear in MAC play, like go 7-1 or whatever, even 8-0, who knows? If we go on such a tear, we're still in the mix. We have to play it out, game by game. But I'm not losing any hope. Not doubting anything. I have no doubt that we're in the right place mentally. So the bottom line here, as I noted here in this banner, watch how Ohio responds. We're going to take care of business against Gardner Webb. And then the next game after that, I'm going to review the Bobcat schedule real fast because I have it up here. Gardner Webb, okay. That's September 20th. Week after that, that begins MAC conference play. We get the Bowling Green Falcons. September 27th, we host the Bowling Green Falcons. Eddie George, the new head coach, he's got them fired up, trying to get them back on track. We get it, but it's not going to be instant. It's not going to be an instant turnaround for Bowling Green, in my opinion. So if this is our statement that we're going to start making, it's going to have to be there against Bowling Green, which I do believe that we can do. And when it comes to Mid-American Conference, their defenses are not as stacked as power conference teams. I believe we all know this. So we do have a chance to pull something out here. And game after that is at Ball State Cardinals, Muncie, Indiana. That's October 4th. Then we get a bye week after that. And then October 18th, we host the Northern Illinois Huskies in their last hurrah season in the MAC. So just reviewing that, we do have an easier road going forward. So I'm not worried about where we're at as a team. And just review the general stats, combining everything. Parker Navarro throughout 3 games, 49 of 75 pass attempts completed, 3 interceptions, 580 yards, 5 touchdowns. Doing good. And rushing, Navarro again, 32 attempts for 220 yards, net of 183. I mean, good stuff. Let's see. C.A. Bangura, 182 yards, 48 attempts. Pretty good. Duncan Bruin, even 24 attempts for 71 yards. Receiving, going up here, combining everything, all 3 games. Chase Hendricks, 312 yards, 20 receptions, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. Max Rodarte, 6 receptions, 87 yards. Ian Pugh, 4 receptions, 51 yards. Jake Bruno, 4 receptions, 48 yards. Caleb Gossett, 6 receptions, 45 yards. We got stuff going. We know what we're doing here. So we have an idea what we're going to be doing on offense and defense. Yeah, it has been slow at times because we have relatively new faces there on defense, especially the front six. But as games have gone along, we've developed more of an identity on defense. What exactly we got there, and as a note, Jack Freeze, starting linebacker for the Bobcats, he did not play in the game against Ohio State, by the way. He had an injury in the West Virginia game, so he did not even show up in Columbus. So that's going to be day to day. We don't know how long he's going to be out. I don't think it's going to be a serious injury, but I'll keep you updated on that, how Jack Freeze is doing. So I do have other stuff to report about the Ohio Bobcats. We do have administration related new development there. We have a new athletic director. I want to get on that. I want to talk about that in original Bobcat Corner. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, if you guys, like I said, if you guys like this content, please leave a like before you leave. Share this content with other college football fans. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, click the notification bell, and yeah, feel free to leave a comment. Give me suggestions about what you like to see here on this channel. And yeah, I think I'm just going to wrap this up here. Hope I did well for a first time doing this. You're going to be seeing more of this going forward here. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is Stephen Vitt reporting, and I'll be back with more content like this soon. And yeah, Bobcat Corner Live. I'm going to keep doing it, in this way. Keep using StreamYard. Keep trying to spruce things up, because I promise you guys I'm going to keep sprucing things up for this channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you guys want to, please buy me a coffee on Ko-fi. Any kind of support would help. Thank you guys so much. Take care.